Okay, up to now we have discussed about CSS and HTML and then JavaScript also, right? Let's move to the next section, which is PHP Hypertext Preprocessor. Actually, to install PHP, you need some environment because like PHP won't work just by copying or pasting or just by installing. This won't work. You need an environment to be set up, right? That is a server-side scripting language, unlike the one that we have done previously, client-side. That is just working in the browser. That means when you start coding, when you have done the coding, it will start working. When you double-click and open that in the browser, it will start working. But these server-side languages are not working like that. So you have to set up the server environment in order to get the work done. Right, the server environment can be set up in two ways. One is you can download the server environment and install that. So this is a server bundle. You call it SAM. SAM means any operating system. X refer for X, anything. Apache is the HTTP server or the web server. MySQL or MariaDB, that is the database system. PHP is PHP Hypertext Preprocessor. PHP Hypertext Preprocessor, that is the language that we are going to use here. PHP means PHP Hypertext. That is a recursive name right here. PHP Hypertext Preprocessor. That means inside that name, you have the same name again. This PHP also PHP Hypertext Preprocessor. Inside that there's a PHP, that is also PHP Hypertext Preprocessor. It's never ending. It's never ending. So we call that a recursive name. So here you need a server side in order to work, in order to work with a server side language, you need to set up, first of all, you need to set up the server environment. Server environment can be set up using this by installing either SAM. SAM means any operating system, Apache, MySQL, PHP. Or you can install WAM, that is Windows, Apache, MySQL, PHP for the Windows environment. Or you can install MAM for a Mac environment, Mac OS, Apache, MySQL, PHP. Or you can install LAMP for the Linux environment, Linux, Apache, MySQL, PHP, either version. So this is actually a compatible version based on operating system. You have to find the compatible version. If you are using Windows, it is WAM. And in my case, I have to install MAM. If it is Linux, then LAMP. Right? Likewise, you have to install that. And then XAMPP for any kind of operating system, any kind of, it's supporting all the operating systems. So you can download XAMPP in general and install in your computer. So that is the next step. So this is the first way, the basic, and the first way is set up your computer as a server, or you can simply create a hosting account. So ZeroFish.net, FC, and 000 Webhost, these are free hosting accounts. You can create free hosting accounts there. That is another solution. So let me show this immediately. I'm going to use White Cloud. Let's use this. Actually, why I'm going to use Huawei Cloud is just to show you a fresh machine and the fresh installation there. So let's log in. I have to do my dual authentication. According to the dual authentication setup. Still, I have not received the code. Let me check it again. Resend. Okay, I have to resend the code, something wrong here. Let me try one more time. If it is not working, let's go to the general computer. Somebody, maybe one of you can share your computer. Okay, I have to resend that. Okay, I got it. Okay. Okay. Trust this computer. I have to go to the right under products. I need to create new computer. Yes, let's create ECS. I'm going to buy new ECS. For temporary, I can buy this for hourly fee. Otherwise, it will cost you a few dollars, but just try to use it for hourly fee. And I'm going to use pay per use. Second option. This also you need to be familiar, right? I'm going to use pay per use. Per usage, I'm going to pay. So my region is, I'm using Singapore region. And okay, into it. Right, then I need a computer. So let's take a computer with, right. I need a better internet connection. So this one is, I think, yeah, this one I can use this one, which is having dual core 8 GB. Let's use quad core 8. So this is better. Then you can select any computer that you like, right? If you want to update like 8 processors, 16 GB RAM, or even 24 processors, 96 GB RAM, but that will cost you a lot, right? So here, this will cost per hour $1.3. It's costly, right? I'm not going to use that for the moment. I'm using this one, right? The 4-core version, okay? So then there is, okay, it's enough. And the operating system, this matters. Can I install Windows? I have Debian, Fedora. Okay. Can't I use the Windows version? White Cloud, OS, and CentOS, Ubuntu, Debian, Fedora. Oh, it's not going to help us because the Windows images are not available. Maybe marketplace images. Can I see any Windows version? Either I have to update a Windows operating system, right? This way, actually, I have to use Linux one, right? If I'm going to use a Linux version, so this is going to be complex. So I can do that using LAMP in Linux, but since you all are using Windows, so let me try with one of your computers, because earlier days this was available. The Windows version is available now, but they have removed seams. Right, anyway, doesn't matter. Let's use one of your computers then. Can you share the screen? Then I'll instruct how to install, how to download and install SAM. Can one of you share the screen, please? If you already have SAM, that is also okay. Just share your image, share your screen, then I'll. Both of you're using phone. No power. Oh. Then no solution. So I have to I have to show this using MAMP then, right? Okay, anyway, you have to install. So if you are using a Windows computer, you can download either SAM SAMP you can download for Windows computer, this version. You can just download for Windows, and for any operating system, you can do the same. And if not, you are using Windows, you can directly use WAMP also. Both are free. You can download those, one of these, either WAMP server or SAMP. So that will install these packages into your computer. That is Apache database, Apache web server, then the database server, PHP server-side scripting language, as well as Perl language. So these things will be installed in your computer. I think this note is already shared with you. So if you want the important point, just take screenshots. So I'm not going to give, I'm not asking you to write this today because I have already given this. Okay, then PHP. PHP is PHP Hypertext Preprocessor. I said that that is a recursive name. Inside that, the same name is there. Similarly, GNU is something similar to that. GNU is not Unix. And this is GNU GPL, means GNU is not unique, general public license. Actually, this is the license. GNU is not Unix, general public license is the license given for the free and open source software, Linux, and there are a lot of free and open source software. ඒවට හම්බ වෙන license එක තමයි මේක. For free and open source software, this license is given. So GNU is not Unix. Unix is a paid operating system. Unix කියන්නේ paid operating system එක. Right? Unix is a paid operating system, but so since Unix is a paid, there is another way. So Unix like operating system is there. Unix like operating system is there, that is called Linux. But they want to, right? They wanted to implement a Unix like operating system, but which is not Unix. They license kara, they have license like GNU. GNU means GNU is not Unix. GNU is not Unix. G means GNU. N means not. U means Unix. GNU is not Unix. GNU is not Unix. That GNU is also GNU is not Unix. Again, GNU not Unix. The recursive කියන එක open source වල පොඩ්ඩක් ඒකත් එක්ක ආත්මීය බැඳීමක් තියෙනවා ඒක. Right? Recursive has some bond with recursive names has bond with this this open source software. Okay, so when you install this, bundle, so you will, right, this is Apache is a popular open source web server, MySQL, or you can see MariaDB, that is a popular database that is also free, and PHP Perl is also free. So you can download all these and install for free. Once installed, I have installed MAMP in my one. So see here, I'll get a control panel, then I can start the services. Because I'm going to run a server, I have to start a service, start this as a service. So let me start. After starting, it should indicate that it is already started. Still not. Okay, you can see the stock is displayed, means it is already started. Now, you can see something here, localhost 8888 map, and this is the path, this is the installation path. Localhost is the location, that is my local computer. 888 is a 48 is the port, because any network service, so they actually, even though I installed this in my computer, a server is a network service. Server එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ network එකට දෙන service එකක්. So these network services are given by ports. It's like counters. When you want to get a ticket in train, you have to go to a counter. Similarly, when you want to access a network service, you have to use a counter. That counter is called port. This is common in network services. So what is the counter? What is the port for web? What is the port for web? Web wala port එක මොකක්ද? Anyone knows what is the port for web? Yes. Website, a general HTTP website. What is the port? Right, port is 80. These are general ports. Please remember. Port is like a service gate. This is like a service gate. These are some common ports that you need to know. So let's write down because it was not available in your note. These are important things. Let me copy this down and I'll remove the unwanted ones. And so this is special note. So you can put a square and write down this port. Network services are generally given through a port. Port is similar to a counter where a specific service is delivered. It's a counter, it's actually delivering specific service. That can be open or closed based on the network security requirements. Generally, port 80 and 443 related to HTTP and HTTPS remain open in many computers. Remain open in many computers. Okay, please write down that. And these are some common ports, and there are some unwanted, like these things will not be asked in the examination. So those I will remove that, right? So this NNTP, NTP, IMAP, better to have. IRC, not normally considered. Let's cut it. And delete this. Let's delete this too. Okay, can you please write down this part? It's very important. Generally, port 80 belongs to web. Sometimes 8080 instead of 80 is used here. Actually, in my computer, I'm using 8888. So you can change it, but these are general, right? So, but any time you can change it. Counter these ports can be changed, but these are general. Please write down this quickly. Right, let's see how this works, right? Okay, now you know about the ports, and I just explained about my port, that is 8888. This is for the MAM. So let's say I'm going to try with a different port. I'm trying 80, port 80. And this is another server, right? Port 80, you can see this is another server. But if I try port 443, so this is some other server, right? You can see it cannot be reached. And if I try 8888, this is another server, so it reaches. So my local host, you can see it is placed in port 8888. So this is the port that I reserved for my web server. So let me go and start writing codes there. So first of all, you need to know the folder where this resides. In actually this one, we have a folder called application. There is a folder called MAM in applications. Yeah. So inside the MAM folder, so there is something called htdocs. Actually, in your computer, if you install SAMP, it will be installed C drive SAMP. So inside C SAMP, you will have a folder called htdocs inside C SAMP. And if you are using some other computer, if you are using some other like host, So let me show if you are using, for an example, 000webhost.com account. So let's see. Okay, let me log in. I'm trying with my Google account. There, in the file manager. So here, go to the upload files. So first of all, actually, I already instructed how to create this 000 web host account, right? So if not, if you don't know, please watch the videos again. So that is there in the videos. So I'm just showing how to do this in online environment. There you don't have in the 000 web host. If you open a zero fees, the folder name will be htdocs. Zero fees account එකක් හැදුවොත් htdocs කියලා තමයි මේක එන්නේ file manager එකේ. But if it is 000 web host, this is public_html. So anyway, it can be public HTML or htdocs. So that is the default. Those are the default names given for the main folder. Let's go to the public HTML, and this is the. Here actually I have installed WordPress into this computer, but what I can do is I can just remove that. Let me delete all these things. And okay, I just need to start a new file, and let's name it as index.php. Index is the default name for the server. You already know that. We have named that in the hosting when we learn hosting. And then you can, so the file name extension is PHP. Let me edit that. And so I'm going to write some very small text there. A small PHP script, PHP, and this is echoing or just printing hello world. Right, this is hello world message. Just save and close. Okay, let's preview that. Right click, view, and then you can see this in your web page. Actually, I'll send you the link. You can also see this in my web page. Here, this is it. You can also see this in my web page. This is Dasun and Siri 000 web host app.com index.php. It's a public URL everyone can see. But the thing is, when I try to see the URL, when I try to see the code, it won't display any code because this is the client, right? So you might confuse. So what I'm typing here using the web browser is a client request. Actually, web browser is the client. Through client, I'm requesting from this URL or URI. I'm just requesting Dasun and Siri 000 web 000 webhostapp.com index.php. Hey, please give me this page. Then that request will come to my server. Actually, my server is also, it also belongs to me. So this is my server. The request will be directed to this location. So when it comes to this place, so it will go and read, actually not this, the Apache web server which is installed here, the Apache web server, which is installed here, will come and read this file, and it will understand this is PHP. Apache knows PHP belongs to the server side. So Apache is not sending this file to the user. Instead of that, it will process. When it processes, it understands the PHP. When it processes, so the output hello world, it knows that. So in this, so they have instructed, hey, print hello world. So after printing hello world, there will be HTML page generated. That HTML page server is sending to the user. This is the user. When user views the source code, user can only see the hello world, but nothing else. No PHP tags, nothing else. The user actually cannot understand how this came. User might think, okay, there is a page called hello world, but it is not. Actually, this is generated dynamically at the server side. Okay, let me further describe this. So in PHP, declaring variables. Declaring variables in PHP. So there's a special notation. You have to use $sign. In front of the variable, you have to use $sign. Let's say $A is a variable. I'm telling $A is equal 1. Then put in a semicolon. Each line of the PHP you have semicolon, right? Each statement will be ended with a semicolon. Then I'm telling while. So declaration I'm using $A. In using also I'm using $A. That is the specialty. But earlier days, like in Python also you do the same, right? A equal 10, then you are using A. Similar. So, but here you have $A. $A equal 1, and while $A, let's say less than or equal to 10. So then a curly brace to start the while loop and end it. And inside the while loop, I'm printing hello world. And after that, I'm printing a BR. BR, you know, that is HTML tag. BR is instructing to go to the next line. And in the next line, that what I'm going to do, hello world, next line, then I'm going to increase the $A equal $A plus 1. I'm incrementing $A by 1. I'm adding 1 to the $A. So let's say when close. What will happen if I run this script? So this is the script. Script says start with 1, go up to 10, print hello world and BR. How many times? 1 by 1 by 1. 1 by 1 by 1 means up to 10, you will be having 10 instances. Means when you request this page, you will get 10 hello worlds in your page. But if you try to see the source code of this, you will not see any loops. But if you try to see JavaScript, you can see here, you can only see hello world BR, hello world BR. You don't know what is the technology behind that, but you can understand because this is PHP. So you can understand there should be PHP, but you don't know actually whether this is a while loop or for loop, how this happened, or whether this is printed 1 by 1 by 1. You don't know, but you know the final result. That is it. PHP is invisible to the user. PHP is only visible to the server side. It's not visible to the user side. But JavaScript is visible to the user side. Okay, I think now you have an idea. So let's go to this one and also try this code in the local computer. So this is index.php. There is a file. I'm going to rename that file as index.php.back, a backup file. Then just use back, and then I'm copying down it again, renaming this as index.php and opening this with a text editor. Actually, I can't double click and get this done, right? If I try to use like this, it won't work. It will display the code instead of. It will display the code, but this is not what you need. That means if you're trying to access this as a file, you won't get the output. So you have to access by requesting. You have to access by requesting. So how to request this file? Or what is the URL to request this file? I already explained. Yes, Situ? How can I request the index.php file my local computer? Hello? If it is in my local computer, how can I request that page? Yes, I already said that. Yes, Netuli. Yeah, localhost. Yeah, correct. Localhost. I had to request by calling localhost. That is the URL, right? http://localhost. Then you have to give the port 8888 / actually, if you want, you have to give the full URI. Then you have to tell index.php. This is how you have to request that file. You are requesting, actually, you are requesting. You are not double clicking, you are not opening. That is requesting this file. Then server is delivering this file, right? So let's edit that. I just need to edit this code in very quickly. Okay, so right, it has a very simple statement. You can also understand this. It's printing hello world and HR horizontal ruler. Then number 1 equal 34, number 2 equal 45. It's calculating the total. Total equal number 1 plus number 2. Both are dollars because PHP variable. Then total is this. Total is then this. Right? You can actually use total is dot total. That is how you concatenate. So this in Python we have used plus sign, but here we are using dot. Total is dot total. When you use dot, what will happen? It will concatenate and display here total is total. But if you try to plus it, it's not happening, right? Because plus is not concatenation, that is addition. You can see only 79. But if you try to use dot, it will concatenate and you say total is 79. So when I try to edit this, let's say echo, I can do something like this also. Number 1 dot plus sign dot number 2 dot. So after the plus sign, can say equal sign here dot, and then you can write the total. It's another way of doing the same. You can see showing this calculation just by using concatenation. Okay, let's start learning in a systematic way. How can we use PHP codes? Well, let's learn one by one. Okay, I'm going to use our Python node. The first thing is operators, right? So, and before we begin, I think the variables, identifiers. So better to have the identifiers. But I'm regenerating the node that we are using. That's my identifiers. Oh, it's missing here. We have written, okay, this notice I have already given. So let's use identifiers. I think it is better to have identifiers first. Then let's go to the operators. Yes. Then variables, then the operators, right? Okay. So please start writing there. PHP server-side scripting language. PHP server-side scripting language. So under that, please write PHP is free and open source. It works as a scripting language. it is interpreted. It is interpreted. It works in web server environment. Okay, similar to the Python identifiers, we are using identifiers to name the variables, constances, methods, classes, etc. And so these are the examples. You are using dollar in front of any identifier, you have to use dollar. Start with, right? You can start with dollar sign. Start with dollar sign followed by a letter. So that is the difference. Right, start with a dollar sign followed by letter. Example, you can say dollar is correct, but you cannot write something like this, because better to use dollar here. If I try to use that, what will happen? Let's see. I'm using $1 and here instead of dollar number, I'm using $1 and let's save this and try to execute. You can see it's generating an error. The reason is I have started with the number, but I can use like something like this _1. That can be done, right? Then it will work, right? Either a letter or underscore, right? Cannot start with a number, but you can use in the middle. This is correct, and another one is $_1 num. This is also correct. No spaces are allowed. This is correct, but this is incorrect because there's a space. Underscore is allowed. This is correct. These are incorrect. So don't use the keywords. Do not use keywords. So using this is like, if you are using like this, that is not good. So please write down up to here, right? Right, PHP operators. So unlike the Python operators, you have these operators in PHP also, but there are some differences. For an example, if I try to implement these operators in PHP, let me try to copy paste this. Okay, okay, this one. Right, let's use plus. Plus is for addition, so that is totally okay, no? And so if you want to print, okay, let's print a BR. This, right? BR. This, and then So subtraction, so no difference, similar to Python, subtraction can be done here. Subtraction, that is minus. Okay, so that is same total, you can use command line. Then division, that is also similar, right? Division is also similar to the Python. So that's why when one language is learned, the other is easy. And so if you have not learned Python, learning this, you can get the exposure to Python. Division. Right, then multiplication. So see, all these are equal. I'm giving only one exercise. After that, I'll show you, I'll help you doing this, experimenting this, because like you more than one. Here you can see the answers. Why answers are wrong? This is division is correct. You are concatenating that with the total. Right. This is 0. Okay. So what has happened to the multiplication there? Are we changing the values? Well, let's use but the values are correct. So let's say 3 and 6 and 3. Save. Okay. This is correct. 6 minus 3 is minus 3. Is it 6? 6 minus 3. 6 minus 3, is it minus 3? Something went wrong. Total equal number 1 plus number 2. Okay, the first round it is correct. First round. 6 plus 3 is 3. Wow, so here number 1, what's going on? I have not changed this. That is my mistake, right? Let me change this to number 1. Number 1, otherwise like it will give an error. Number 1 here also, number 1, number 1, number 1. So I think now it's correct. Okay, here number 1. So 6 plus 3, 9, 6 minus 3 is 3. 6 divided by 2, 6 divided by 3 is 2. 6 into 2 is, yes, these are the basic operations. But when I try to operate the other things, like let's say exponent, when I try to do exponent, so double multiplication. So this is exponent. This was exponent in, or the power in Python. So let's see what will happen here. 6 to the power 3, is it correct? 6 into 6 is 36. 6 into 6 is 36. 36 into 6 is correct, right? Then what else? Exponent modulus. Modulus. Modulus operator. Modulus will give the integer remainder. So let's try that. Modulus integer remainder. Correct, right? 6 divided by 3, the remaining will be 0. Let's use 2 and 4. Refresh. Here, 2 modulus 4, remaining is 2, because 2 cannot be divided by 4. So 2 remains. 2 to the power 4 is 16. Then what else? One more thing, that is this floor division. But floor division is not available in PHP. If you try to floor divide the number, see what will happen, because this operator is not available in Python. in PHP. Try to floor divide, you can see it's an error. That operator is not available. Other than the floor division, other operators are there as arithmetic operators. Please write down PHP operators, arithmetic operators, this is correct. Comparison operators, yes, all these operators are available. Logical operators, yes, you will have an operator, or operator and not operator. But you have to write in a symbolical way. That means double N is written for an operator. This one. O operator is this one. Double pipe marks. Not operator, as I remember, not operator is tilde. So let's try first, right? Because I have even so like when you are doing different languages, still confused. Let me remove this part. Exponent was there, then the modulus was there. Exponent, modulus, but floor division is not there. So then let's try to do the other operation, which is like an operator. So you can just check here, number 1 greater than. We just try to print this echo. I'm testing 2 conditions. So then I can check number 1 greater than 5. Is it greater than 5? And the second condition is number 2. Let's say number 2 greater than 5. So greater than 2. Number 2 greater than 2 is correct. But that is correct. So let's see what will happen. Okay, you can see nothing there. Because you are printing this and this. Checking this and this. Let's bracket it. But this logical value won't be printed, I think. Yes, you have to check with if. Or there is another way of doing that. I'll tell you, that is called ternary statement. If this is correct, you can do something, let's say correct, or yes, or true. If this is false, colon, you can say false. So let's see what will happen. It says false, right? It says false because number 1 is greater than 5, no. Number 2 greater than 2, yes. The second is true. Then if you want to actually check either condition, you can use O operator, this one. That is checking either condition. This one, then it says true because 1 is true. Then if you want to check the not operation, you can just check not of this. No. I think, yeah, not is like this. I'm not sure whether this not or other not. Let's try not of this. Yes, that is how you apply. You get true. Where's the BR? Why it's missing? True, false, and so let's echo another BR, right? Because when it is true, the BR will be omitted because this is merged with the BR. No, you have to add a BR here also. Otherwise, the true will not be ended with the BR. For true also, you need to add a BR. Actually, you can just say 1 BR, right? 2 BR. And this is false BR. I think this is more convenient. Then if you try to do that, so this is, let's say, true BR and false BR. So it will give true. Why true? Because this will be converted to not. So the not operator here is this, right? This is the not operator. This is an operator. This is O operator, double pipe mark, and this is not operator. Then bitwise operators, yes. These are the bitwise operators, and assignment operators is all are correct. You can just write down this and show this. We'll write this as an example. So please try both. Write down this in your note. Please try this as an example and then copy to your book. Now, let's move to this. The operators. After that, so we need to learn about how like sequence, selection, and repetition, how it works. Sequence, selection, and repetition, how it works. So we just need to study about that. How sequence work, how selection work, and how repetition work. Right? So let me quickly go through that as well and conclude the lesson for today. So sequence, selection, and repetition. Sequence, like these are the three control structures available. Right? Sequence, selection, and repetition. These are the three control structures available. Sequence, basically, and operator precedence, same, right? This, I don't know to explain this again and again because we have already discussed. So operator precedence means some operations will happen first, but some operation will happen next, right? That is operator precedence. Just take a screenshot of this. Okay. Then if else and the selection, basically if else and the other operations. So you can see if else. So this is in Python we have used colon, but in PHP we are using braces or brackets. So means here. So okay, let's see if you want to print something like this. Let's take 2 marks or 2 numbers. Number 1 equal to some number. 2 is equal to some other number. Number 1 is one number. Number 2 is another number. If $n1 is greater than $n2, if n1 is greater than n2, then you can say echo $n1 is greater than $n2. So you can say the other way. Else. So this is the simple if else statement. N2 is greater than N1. So let me print. You can see here 65 is greater than 30. So it's taking the numbers and based on that the outputs are given. And this is simple if else. And so if there are multiple if else statements, let's say there are 2 numbers and you need to find the average number. The AVG is equal to N1 plus N2, $n1 plus $n2 divided by 2 is the average. N1 and N2 divided by 2 is the average, and based on the average you have to give the grade, right? So in that case, so let's see if you want to give grade according to this. So let's print echo a BR. You can use print also. Print and echo both will work. There is a minor difference, I'll explain that later. Then you can check if $AVG. So let's say if it is greater than or equal to 75, then you can say echo grade is A. So similarly, you can have the other if statements. Actually, not elif. Elif is there in Python, here else if, right? So that is the difference. So let's say you can check 60, whether it's greater than 60, had a very long. If not, whether it's greater than 50. So if not, whether it is greater than 40, if not, the last statement likewise. So this is how you can implement multiple if else. BC, if it is greater than 40, then you can say S. If it is even less than that, means else. You can say your grade is F, failed. And here you can say grade is S. So what is the average? Average need to be printed, right? BR, and then let's print the average as well. Echo AVG. Echo AVG. BR. You can see here. Okay, now you can see this. So please take a screenshot. This is how the if else is used. This is how the if else is used. But just take a screenshot because like need to do a little bit quickly. Need to do this one quickly, and then I'll be doing repetition as well, because these things are the basic concepts. We have some new concept to discuss, which is like post, get, how to handle forms, how to handle database. Therefore, I would like to finish the fundamental basic concepts soon. Okay, done. This is how repetition is applied, right? Now, two things done. So we have just discussed about how, how this operators works. Then the repetition part. This is not repetition actually, if else, selection. So this shows how selection works. The previous example, this one, we just learn about the operators, right? This is to learn about the operators, and the next one is to learn about this false BR, true BR. Actually, I couldn't copy that to the note. That's why I'm just applying. Okay, this part is not needed now. This is to check the operators. After that, the selection. Okay, repetition. So we discuss about three loops: for loop, while loop, do while loop, or through while loop. So similarly, here also you have all three loops. For loop, for, you can say $k for $k equal, for $k equal 1, $k less than or equal to 10, $k plus plus can equal $k and a BR. Or space, maybe. Save it. Here it is, and you can see it's going up to 10. Similarly, while loop. You can start define the variable first. You can say $k is equal to 1, and while $k, the condition, then print in K and change in $k. That is while loop, the second part. Oh, 10, right? Need to apply a BR. So go to the next line. Save. Do while loop, the third one. You can try this with me, right? Do while loop. Actually, you have to first do this. Do this. Do echo the k, and then finally you have to check the condition. So that condition can check while k. If you put like this, then what will happen? Let's see. So that is the do while loop. Use the condition. These are the three ways of implementing loops: for loop, while loop, and do while loop. Okay, please take a screenshot of this as well. Now, sequence, selection, repetition, all three basics we have done. So now we need to learn about some advanced concepts. Like what? We need to learn about the form processing. So sequence, selection, repetition. Sequence means the instructions will be executed one after another. Selection, you have one path to select. There is a condition, there are conditions. Therefore, you have to select only one side among different alternatives, and these selections are there. Multiple selections can be there. Then the repetition. In the repetition, you repeat, do the same thing again and again. So those are the three control structures in any programming language. This is common for PHP, JavaScript, Python, VB, Java, for any language, C, C++, these are common. Only thing is the syntactical differences. In Python, different way, in PHP, different way. Those are syntactical differences. Next day, I'll be discussing about the remaining part, which is like the next day I'll be discussing about the remaining part means like, so how the form handling should be done, the post, get, request. I'll be discussing that. Okay, for today, I'll be stopping here. Then good night. See you all next week.